okay? Okay, so hey guys, we're gonna go over questions 235 to 239 today. So you only have 5 questions and then you have your SEL stuff at the very end. So let's start off with question number 236. I want you guys to take a moment and highlight everything that you think is important. All right, so what factors of this? Select 2 different options. Oh, didn't we go over this one yesterday? I think we did. Wait. Week 16 Wednesday. Wait a second. Oh, hold on a second. Something is not, hold on. We'll figure it out. No, it's totally. Oh, you guys, sorry about that. So 235, take a moment to highlight them. And this is on Jolene. All right, so Jolene is solving this equation and she wants to know which one is the answer. All right, so let's take a look at this. Your A in the situation is always going to be in the very beginning. So your A is 1, your B is -5, and your C is -4. So what I want you guys to do is take A, B, and C and plug it into that equation. So you guys do that first. So when you do that, you should have a -5 plus or minus the square root of -5 squared minus 4A and C all the way over to A. Now, I want you guys to grab your calculator and I want you guys to take a look at the one I'm highlighting. I want you to multiply that out into one small number. So I don't want a bunch of numbers in there. I just want one number inside the square root. So what is that going to be? So you should have a +5 because double negative gives you a positive, plus or minus the square root. This is going to give you a 25 plus a 16. So altogether, that is going to give you a 41 over 2. So then what you're going to do with this is you're going to do the square root of 41. Which is going to give you a 5 plus or minus. So the square root of 41 is going to be a 6.403 divided by 2. And then remember, you guys, you got to split it, okay? The first one is 5 plus 6.403 divided by 2. And the second answer is 5 minus 6.043 divided by 2. So then you have to go ahead and add them and divide. So go ahead and do that and see which of the 2 answers you will have. Okay, so then looking at this here, 5 plus that number divided by 2 is going to give you a 5.7. Well, guess what? None of those match. So let's try the other one over here. 5 minus 6.403 divided by 2. Guess what? That's going to give you a negative 0.701. And does that match one of the answers? Yes, it does. It's this one right here. And that is how you find question number 235. All right, 236. Go ahead and highlight the answers and take a look at the questions asking you. Okay, so the keyword here is the word discriminant. Now, to find the discriminant, the formula is b squared minus 4ac. So copy that part down. So that is your formula. Then from there, I want you to tell me what is your A, what is your B, and what is your C? And you can find that by just looking at the equation. Remember, A is always with the x squared, B is always with the x, C is that lonely number by itself. And if you look at this, your A is 2, B is 5. You see the 1 right there? They're making this a little bit tricky for you. You got to move that 1 over to the left side. If you move it over to the left side, it becomes a negative 1. So they do that to trick you. But guess what? You guys are smart, so you're not going to be tricked. So B squared is 5 squared minus 4AC. So grab your calculator and multiply that out. Okay, and then you have 25 double negative. Do you see the minus minus makes it a positive? 4 times 2 is 8. So, whoa, 25 minus 4. Oh, no, that's correct. B squared 25. This one. You know what? I screwed this up. Can somebody see where I screwed this up? The number I wrote down here is not correct. Why? Because I went ahead and did, you see how the 5 right here is with the x squared? That's A. That 2 is B. Do you see how I made a mistake right there based on just looking at it like one way? X squared is always A. You have to put them in order, okay? So don't make that mistake. So if I do it this way, I have 2 squared minus 4AC. So double negative makes it a positive. 4 times 5 is a 20. So what is 4 times 20? 24 is your correct answer. And it's good that I make mistakes like this because I want you guys to see them and go, she made a terrible mistake. Now, what can I do to make sure I don't make that mistake? And it's okay to make mistakes, you guys. I mean, like, I feel like sometimes kids are really hard on themselves and they're like, oh, that's stupid. I did that. I'm like, no, it's not stupid. You did it because you didn't know what to do. But now that you made the mistake, learn from it so you don't make the same mistake later on. You guys are too hard on yourself sometimes. All right, number 237. Okay, so what is the multiplicative rate of change of the exponential function represented by this table? Ooh, keyword is exponential, or I'm sorry, multiplicative rate of change. I'm just gonna underline that right there. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is you're gonna go ahead and take a look at the differences here, okay? So 6.75 minus 4.5, what does that equal to? So grab your calculator and do that. Then you're gonna do the same thing over here between these two. You're gonna do 10.125 minus 6.75. What does that equal to? And you guessed you're gonna do exactly the same thing with the last one. So 15.1875 minus 10.125. What does that equal to? So grab your calculator and then fill in the blank that I'm highlighting right there in yellow. So do that first. Okay, and if you take a look at this, you guys, so 6.75 minus 4.5 is going to give me a 2.25, okay? And then 10.125 minus 6.75 is going to give me a 3.375. Then 15.1875 minus 10.125 is a 5.0625. And then what you're going to do is look at the difference between these two, okay? 3.375 minus 2.25 is going to be a 1.125. And then if you look at the difference between a 5.0625 minus 3.375, it's going to give you a 1.68. Now, if you look at the difference between these two right here, so I know we're just subtracting a lot and we're kind of finding in the middle. What do you think that middle number is going to be? Like a number in between the two of those right there. Is it more likely A, B, C, or D? And that is going to be your answer. All right, let's go on to 238. All right, so as you guys take a look at this right here, you have f of x is equal to 2, 3 to the x power, like that, okay? So then we gotta graph this. It's asking you for the range, and the range just means the y values, like how far up does it go and how far down does it go. So to do that, we're gonna have to do Desmos. So let's go to Desmos right here, and I'll graph it, and you guys just take a look at it. Let me change my screen here. So then here's Desmos. You have 2, 3, and then you have a exponent to the x. All right, so if you look at it, how far up does it go? Does it ever stop going up? No, it's passing 25. It's now passing 45. So it's positive infinity for going all the way up. But then take a look at this. How far low does it go? Do you see how your graph right here? It doesn't look like it goes further than 0, because this is 0 right here. Do you guys see that? But I want to get closer to 0 to see, does it ever touch 0, you guys? Do you see how there's always that little space right there? Do you see that? This is 0 right there. That's the x-axis. So if I just keep going this way, it looks like it's getting closer and closer to 0, but it never touches 0. So then if I go back to my answer here, It is going to be A as an apple. Y is greater than 0, meaning it never touches 0. But it's going to go all the way to positive infinity. But it starts at 0 and it keeps going up. $239, you guys. Go ahead and take a look at this one here. All right, which expression are equivalent to this? Select 3 that is the correct answer. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. This is called a radical form. You're gonna convert it to an exponential form. Okay, so if you're in radical form, this 3 right here is the root. This x right here is the exponent. And when you want to write this, you always want to do 128, which is the number inside the square root. And it's always going to be exponent over root. So that'll be 128 x over 3, which guess what? It matches A. Another way that you can write this is if I take the 128 and I break it down, okay? So I know that this is a root with a 3. There's an x right here. What times what gives me 128? That is a perfect square. I know I could do a 4 times a 4 times a 4 times a 2. That gives me 128. In order for me to take some numbers out, I have to have 3 of a kind because the root is a 3. Do I have a 3 of a kind here? I think so. I have a 4. There's 3 4s. So then I could take that out. And what it'll look like is I have a 4 on the outside, cube root 2 to the x. And then guess what? That matches the next one right there. So I have one more that I can select, okay? If I were to go ahead and rewrite this part here, the inside right there, do you see how that 2 has a root 3? So I could put the 4 right there, 2 with a 1 over 3, and then an x on the outside, which will match the next one right there. Okay, so those are the 3 correct ones. This one's kind of a hard one, so I would highly recommend that if you have this one on your test, just make sure you take a look at the answers as well to make sure it's correct and it's matching. All right, you guys, I think that is it. That takes us to 240 or 239. And so then on Thursday, we'll continue with the rest of them. And so now what I want you guys to do is turn over to the back of it